Good afternoon. I hope you had a terrific Memorial Day weekend. And I bet you're not used to seeing this. I finally was able to go out and get a haircut. Today, I'm going to make a couple of announcements before I read to you the Happy Hedgehog, whose name is Mikko, by the way. My announcements are, first of all, I'm not going to be posting on Facebook anymore that I am doing these readings. If you care to hear more readings, because I'm going to do them for my grandchildren, you also are invited to listen to them and watch them. You can go to YouTube and then type in Will Wyckoff Books, and that'll bring you up to all the videos I've done or might be doing in the future. Also, if you want to reach out and contact me for any reason, you can go to my website, which is willwyckoffbooks.com, and you click on contact me, and that's how you can get in touch with me. And I'll be sure to get back in touch with you. Okay, let's start the Happy Hedgehog. It was a beautiful day, and Mikko, the little hedgehog, was feeling completely content. He lay in his garden watching the clouds. As they changed shape, the clouds reminded him of certain animals and plants because of their shapes. Mikko loved his garden. He knew every flower, all the herbs, and even all the weeds by name. More than just their names, Mikko knew all about their healing powers. The little hedgehog also knew all the animals who lived in his garden, the reptiles, the mammals, the amphibians, and even the insects. Above all, he knew the birds, and he knew them by their sight and by their songs. This is Mikko in his garden, just relaxing, chilling. Suddenly, a voice shattered his thoughts. Ha! Look at you, lounging about in the garden, dreaming the day away, you lazy good-for-nothing. It was Mikko's grandfather, Tariq, who was out for his morning walk. The young of today, they are simply useless, said Tariq. I was a boy, it wouldn't have occurred to me to sit around all day long staring into space. You should do something. But grandfather, I am doing something, answered Mikko. I'm watching the clouds and I'm observing their shapes. No, you should do something. That's ridiculous. It's absurd, wasting your time, squatting in the grass, sniffing the flowers. You should take advantage of your youth to accomplish something important so you could be happy. This is a picture of his grandfather Tariq speaking, lecturing Mikko. Mikko answered, but I'm quite happy here. Impossible. Go and take a look at how others lead their lives. Shaking his head, grandfather limped away. Mikko was confused. He didn't think grandfather Tariq looked particularly happy. What did others do that was so much better? The little hedgehog wondered that. I'll have to go and see for myself. Perhaps I'll learn something from them. He tied up a knapsack and Mikko headed off on his little journey. Suddenly, a tortoise sped by, raced by Mikko. Hey, tortoise, wait a minute. Why are you running? I'm in training, she panted. Training for what? Asked the little hedgehog. I'm training to be the fastest turtle, the fastest tortoise in the world. Mikko scratched his forehead. Isn't it a bit difficult to run with such a heavy shell on your back? There is the tortoise that he saw racing by. Look at the size of that shell. That might be hard carrying all that. Of course it's difficult, said the turtle. That's why I have to keep on training. But if I become the fastest tortoise or turtle in the world, I will become famous and I'll be happy. Well, that sounded good to Mikko. Let me run with you, he said. And so the two of them took off. Here's Mikko trying to keep up with the tortoise. Soon Mikko gave up. He was completely worn out. The tortoise just kept on running. She didn't even look back. Oh dear, thought Mikko, running can be fun, but not like this. He rested for a moment and then he continued on at a slower pace. Suddenly, a rabbit hurried across his path. Hey, rabbit, wait! Are you also in training? The rabbit looked confused. Mikko noticed the notebooks that the rabbit was carrying. Training? No, I'm going to school. To school? What school? Mikko asked. Come along with me, the rabbit said, and see for yourself. So here's a picture, a big picture, of the rabbit going off to school. All right, said Mikko, and he followed the rabbit to school. Mikko hid behind a tree and he watched everything that was happening. The teacher taught addition, subtraction, geography, and something called penmanship. Mikko couldn't understand a word, and during playtime, he found the rabbit. Did you really understand all those things that the teacher was talking about? Are you kidding? I understood absolutely nothing, the rabbit answered. I just memorize everything. Then my head will be full when I have finished. Maybe one day I will be the most brilliant rabbit of all, and then I will certainly be happy. The rabbit said goodbye and he hopped back to his seat in the class after playtime. Mikko slipped away. He thought, it is great fun to learn new things, but just memorizing without really understanding them, that's not what I want. Deep in the woods, he heard a terrible grunting and growling. In a small clearing, Badger was trying to lift up a gigantic stone. Can I help you? Mikko asked. With a terrifying roar, the badger heaved the stone, threw the stone, tossed the stone high over his head, and then suddenly it landed on the ground with a thud. Mikko jumped back. Hey, you almost flattened me. What are you trying to do? I'm building up my muscles. I want to become the strongest badger in the world. Oh no, not again, thought Mikko. And here's Badger holding the giant stone over his head. Why would you want to be so strong? Asked Mikko. What do you mean? Why? If I'm the strongest in the world, then everybody will respect me. I wouldn't have to be afraid of anyone, and that would make me very happy. Mikko thought about this. There were certainly some advantages to being strong. Could I give it a try? Asked Mikko. Of course, the badger grinned. Here, try first with a small stone. Mikko grabbed the small stone, and he really struggled just to lift that up. He began to sweat. He got the stone up as far as his belly, and when the stone slipped to the ground, it landed on his little toe. Ouch! Cried Mikko, rubbing his throbbing toe, and he whimpered, This is silly. Mikko promised himself to only lift stones when he had to build a house or a wall around his garden. But just to get stronger, no thank you. And this is Mikko lying on the ground trying to lift just a small stone. Mikko said goodbye to the badger and he hobbled to the edge of the woods. There he saw a trail of ants. Fascinated, he watched the busy insects scurrying here and there. At first, it seemed pointless what they were doing, but then he looked closer and he saw that each ant seemed to have a job and knew exactly where it was going. What are they doing? He asked. But the ants were so busy they didn't even hear him. His grandfather was right. All the animals were busy and ambitious. They wanted to become fast, smart, strong, so they'd be happy. But it seemed to Miko that while they were striving, they weren't really enjoying life at all. Here's a picture of Miko, really surprised at how hard the ants were working. Did Miko really want to live that way? Thoughtfully, he started on his way home. There are the other animals in the back watching Miko go back to his garden. When he arrived back at his garden, with singing birds and beautiful plants and passing clouds, a wave of contentment, happiness washed over him. No, I don't want to be the strongest, he thought, or the cleverest, or the fastest. Why make myself miserable just to be happy in the future when I'm already happy? I like the way I am now, here home in my garden. Then Miko heard a hoarse cough, and he turned around and it was his grandfather. So, Miko, did you go out and learn something today? I did, grandfather, yes. But I noticed you're coughing. It sounds very hoarse. Sit down. I'll make you a cup of tea with my herbs from my garden, and I'll mix in a little fresh honey. That will certainly do you some good. Do you think so? Oh, yes. I know other healing herbs too. I can help a sprained foot, a headache, and lots more. Is that so? Asked his grandfather. Grandfather Tariq made himself comfortable among the herbs and flowers in the garden. He sipped his sweet tea, which did indeed help his cough. He asked Miko questions, and with each answer, Grandfather Tariq saw how much his grandson really did know and how much there was to learn in Miko's garden. So now grandfather's not so disappointed in his grandson anymore. I hope you enjoyed the story, and if you'd like to hear others, all you have to do is join me on YouTube. Have a great day.